This biannual symposium stands as a hallmark event in the academic life of Church Teachers College. It is more than a symposium. It is a meeting of minds, the convergence of ideas, and a space where theory and practice intersect in meaningful and impactful ways. For many years, this symposium has served as a platform for rigorous intellectual engagement, scholarly inquiry, and professional dialogue. It reflects our college's unwavering commitment to academic excellence, innovation, and the holistic development of educators who are prepared to meet the demands of a rapidly changing educational landscape. We convene at a time of significant change within education locally and globally. Rapid technological advancement, evolving pedagogical approaches, diverse learner needs, and complex social realities demand that educators remain adaptable, research-informed, and reflective. This symposium provides an opportunity to critically examine these dynamics and to re-image teaching and learning in ways that are relevant, inclusive, and transformative. At Church Teachers College, we view education as both an intellectual and moral enterprise. It must be grounded in sound research, informed by credible evidence, and guided by values that promote equity, integrity, and social responsibility. The symposium reflects these principles by encouraging interdisciplinary collaboration, critical engagement, and the dissemination of research that has the potential to inform policy, strengthen professional practice, and improve students' outcomes. Through the keynote address, paper presentations, panel discussions, poster presentations, and workshops, participants will engage with these key issues of shaping education in the 21st century, including curriculum development, assessment, inclusive education, teacher preparation, leadership, and digital learning. In doing so, we reaffirm the role of teacher education institutions as centers of knowledge creation and professional learning. And I must pause to highlight and to express gratitude to the number of current students and members of the administrative staff who will be making presentation at this symposium. It's important that we get our student teachers to understand the import of research in their practice. That the teacher does not teach in a vacuum, but you have to engage in research in order to ensure that your practice is well informed and you are able to respond to the needs of the students you will encounter. We therefore extend sincere appreciation to our keynote speakers, presenters, organizing committee, faculties, staff, and students, whose dedication has ensured the success of this symposium. To our students in particular, your engagement in scholarly discourse is both commendable and essential for your professional growth. As you participate, I encourage you to engage critically, collaborate openly, and contribute thoughtfully. And I wish for a very successful engagement in the symposium. Welcome. No better than that from the police. Appreciate Dr. Anderson, our principal, Church of the Scholars. So let me continue with the overview. If you look in your booklet or on your phones, if you took the QR code, you will see that there are a number of presentations. We are grateful, thankful for these presenters who will bring and share their knowledge with us. Let me give you some statistics here. Today we will have 32 presenters, a total of 32 presentations and 50 presenters. We are very, very grateful for that because research seems to be taken or is going to be taken seriously. We have persons from different institutions, from the community college, we have from our teachers college, we have presenters from the University of Wisconsin Whitewater, Whitewaters, who are here with us today. Let us give them applause because they just joined us. So there are going to be a number of ideas shared, a number of presentations. But I want to say to you people, students, presenters, that conferences are held, presentations are made, research is done to present at these events. But my concern is that whenever we make these presentations, a lot of the times these presentations or these research, these articles are just shelved. And there's no follow-through to continue, or sometimes there's no implementation or application. And that is my concern. I want to hear presentations today that are probably in an action research state, an applied state, and at a next conference, I want to hear presenters who are saying that the last data that they're collecting, it is now showing a future improvement in some area because they are continuing the idea or the concept. So presentation for some persons is like it is a fashion to come and make a presentation because they want to show what they know and what they have found out. That is good. But I want to see probably a model coming from these presentations. I want to see a follow-through with a lot of these presentations. So if we mean to be researchers, we have to be consistent. And we have to make sure that we close the chapter on the idea that we put on paper. Are you following what I'm saying? Do you agree? Yes. We agree. I'm not hearing you. Yes, sir. I'm hard of hearing in these ears now. Are you in agreement with me? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. So, to our guests, if you look in your folders as well, you will see that there is a map that will indicate or give you some sense of direction of where the different rooms will be. Look at the back of that lovely program, and it will give you a sense of direction. So here, that blue area is our chapel. We're in the chapel. And the arrows will indicate the direction in which you will go. To the left, the other blue, that dark blue there, that will be the lecture theater. To the right, that block facing us in that direction. That is classroom 1 to 4. where presentations will take place. Some presentations will take place in here as well. And if you go along the spine or along the corridor to the KT building, you will have another set of presentations there. Continuing the arrow, once you head down to the gymnasium, and right in front of the netball court, that will be another presentation space. That is the Norma Thompson building, the NT building. And to our guests, you will be served lunch if you decided to have lunch with us today in the student lounge. So you will see some symbols there, and just follow it. And this is courtesy of the geography students and the lecturer, Mr. Bremo, Mr. Samuels, and the lecturer, Mr. Isaacs. Very lovely, and I thank them for this kind of direction. But if you will choose not to read them out, the ushers are on the outside, and they will also help you with directions to find these areas. So I want you to peruse the booklet and decide where you're going to go. But in addition to that, I want to say to you that while you peruse the booklet, think of what is your main interest. There was an amendment made in the booklet under Mr. Isaacs and Mr. Samuels. There was an error, and I want to publicly apologize for that error, but we are trying to make amends, and we have included a leaflet, a page of his actual abstract, so that you can be informed as it relates to the decision that you want to make, whether you want to go and hear what he has to say about his research, which I think is a very good research. All of them are good research. All of them are good research. So it's going to be a difficult task. I wouldn't want to be in your shoes to decide which one of these presentations you're going to go to, because all of them will enrich, will provide value, for your professional and personal growth. So that is the overview from me, and I am going to now ask the Music Society to bring that musical item. Following that musical item, we're going to welcome our Custos to come and bring his greetings. And then I will return and give you more information. Thank you very much.
Any children in here? Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. How are we doing? Good. Would you love to hear a little bit more of that musical item? I just sat down a while ago and I was just enjoying it when the young man decided to stop. With your permission, could we ask him to give us a little bit more? As I introduce myself, my name is Leon Nash. I'm the Communications and PR Officer at the Jamaica Teachers Association. And it is my pleasure to be here with you today and to be your master of servant. Thank you very much, Mr. Davey, for leading the way forward so far. But for me to catch my breath, I'm going to enjoy a little bit more of the music. And sure, with the round of applause that you have given, it's an indication to me that you want a little bit more of a better start for your morning. What do you think? Come on, let's put our hands together. Where did he come? He has moved so fast. Maybe he has a glass. All right, so we'll come back to him. I think that he's somewhat away from us. We had introduced earlier on for greetings, and is a gentleman who is calm and cool. He is from the parish of Manchester. He is the top person within these parts, and we are grateful to have him in our midst. I urge you to put your hands together then and make welcome Lieutenant Colonel Honorable Harvey Green, to come and bring his greetings. You can do a bit better than that.
Distinguished educators, students, and partners in the Global Nation Building, good morning. I am profoundly honored to be invited to join you at this biennial research symposium. And on behalf of Custos and the people of Manchester, I bring warm greetings and sincere congratulations to the leadership, faculty, students, and partners of Church Teachers College. Your continued investment in the development of our students strengthens the human capital of our nation and represents the kind of visionary leadership that prepares young people to perform effectively and efficiently in the modern workplace. And by prioritizing research, inquiry, and evidence-based practice, you are equipping your graduates not only with knowledge but with confidence and competence required to thrive in a rapidly changing world. As Custos, I commend the college for creating a space where ideas can flourish, where collaboration is encouraged, and where the future of teaching and learning is thoughtfully shaped. This allows the college to have a tremendous and wide-reaching impact that we all value. And I took note of Father Eliot's sermon where he said, what happens in Jamaica can be felt across the world. Well, likewise, what happens at CTC is certainly happening in the world. Harnessing evidence for transformative teaching and learning for the 21st century reminds us that education cannot stand still. Our children are growing up in a world that is fast-moving, complex, and full of responsibility. They deserve classrooms shaped by research, guided by data, and animated by teachers who are empowered to innovate. This symposium is more than an academic gathering. It is a declaration that the college remains steadfast in shaping educators, students, and professionals who will contribute meaningfully to Jamaica's growth. I wish the symposium every success, and that today's discussion and presentation will inspire bold thinking, deep professional practice, and lead to formative actions that will uplift students, empower educators, and advance development of our beloved Jamaica. I thank you for having me, and may the symposium be a resounding success, as God bless you all. Thank you again, and I must apologize if I slip out early as I have a function to attend this morning. Everyone, thank you.
Thank you so much. Come on, we can, our hands, some of us is there. Come on. The front, those of us who are in the front rows are doing very well. But I am afraid that those who are in the back are not doing so well with their hands. They look a little bit cold down there. Will you just warm up your hands a little bit more for me, please? Just put your hands together and just long. Thank you so much. Bless you. All right, so we're here for a very, very wonderful day, and all the very special persons have been officially welcomed already. And we thank you so much for being here for this activity. It is indeed my pleasure to be sharing with you. I've always been here for the January activity, and for this particular one, I'm happy to be sharing as your master of ceremony for the activity. We have another individual that will be coming up to bring greetings at this time, and of course she is not just an ordinary person, she is the senior chief education officer in the Ministry of Education, and of course from this region. Let's welcome Mrs. Renee Williams-Brown. All right, apparently she is not in the room at the moment, so we're going to be moving forward. And so that's why we always have to have contingency. I operate radio, and on radio, you have to ad-lib many, many times. So sometimes something's not going the way that you want it to go, you have to talk it through, because dead air is very expensive. And so it's important that you do not have dead air in this activity. And so I'm going to invite back my brother to come, and he's going to give you another rendition of the musical. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome CPC Music System, Mr. Janoy Johnson and the team. They're going to be giving to you something nice, something easy, something good. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. When I see young men playing and brothers playing, I am happy to see them at work, because last night I was in church, and while he said something, I see what I'm talking about. You have to ensure that you're always on top of your game, because you have to give time for some things to happen. I looked in church last night, Costas, and there were about 15 to 20 women, and there were just about a handful of about 6 men. We were outnumbered in church. And talk about here, and I look in the audience, I am seeing beautifully done hairs representing the women, and I'm seeing men with their handsome look having gone to the barber. No, we are outnumbered, and so if one stands out in the midst today, then we must celebrate that particular one. What do you say? And he's going to do the same item, of course, that he did earlier on. So I see that he was sitting behind the keyboard, not too sure where he's going to start. But I think you should encourage him with another round of applause. Thank you so much. Come on, put your hands together for it one more time. I love music. I play the keyboard. Right, and so if I knew that he was going to do a second one, I would have just joined him on the end part of that and give him some company. Right? Yeah, I love music. Do you love music? Yes. Do you love church? Yes. Do you love church? Yes. All right. All the students of Church Teachers College, this is your question. Do you love church? Yes. I heard this side. Mr. Daly said that he can't hear on the side, but I'm hearing from this side. And my right side not working so well. Do you love church? Yes. What about that extreme side over there? Do you love church? All right, then I'm going to take you on that now. At this time, we have another item to come, but not at this moment. We're going to be asking a wonderful lady. Her name is Keisha Brown. She is the Center Manager for the Intervention Center. So we're going to be inviting her to come at this time. Keisha, are you in the house? Are you the one walking up? Come on, let's make a welcome.
Two brief concepts, right? I want us to discuss how research and psychoeducational assessments are connected. Has anybody ever heard of psychoeducational assessments? Yes? Anybody else? No? Okay. So, very interesting. All right, so at first glance, research can feel very abstract. Right? We're looking at journal articles, we're looking at statistics, we're looking at text sizes, and psychoeducational assessments, on the other hand, may seem very different. So psychoeducational assessment is more applied, it deals with students, it deals with real reports, real decision making, and in reality, psychoeducational assessment is simply research in action. So when you administer cognitive tests, such as the WISC, which is the Westlaw Intelligence Scale for Children, what you're really doing is relying on decades of research in psychometrics, decades of research in cognitive psychology, and educational theory. So the reliability coefficients, all of those things which are part of research, validated studies, normative samples, factor analysis, all of these things are products that we rely on when we're using the test instruments that are used in the psychoeducational assessments. So research, it informs test construction. So how do we know a test actually measures what it claims to measure? It informs the interpretations. So what does a standard score really mean when we quote standard score in our reports, right? Decision making, how strong must the evidence be to identify a learning disability, which is part of one of the things that when we conduct psychoeducational assessments. So intervention planning, even intervention planning as well. What evidence-based supports are most effective for addressing certain problems. So for example, patterns of strengths and weaknesses, approaches to identifying learning disabilities, these are all grounded in cognitive research on processing systems and academic skill development. So as well as frameworks are rooted in outcome research, so demonstrating how early systematic interventions affect achievement. All of those things are based on research. And so as future teachers and practitioners, you're not just consumers of research, you're actually translators of research. And so each time we report, right? And you have to discuss these findings with with parents. You're actually converting the statistical evidence into meaningful guidance. Does that make sense? Awesome. Now, each recommendations, which is also a part of what we do with our psychoeducational assessments, we provide recommendations and strategies to utilize in the classroom. Each of these recommendations that we write, they reflect the best evidence available, right? Empirical evidence available, right, to address the challenges that we find for each student. And so, in short, what I'm actually trying to say is that research builds the tools that we utilize in our psychoeducational assessments, and the assessment actually applies the tools. And professional judgment, right, integrates the tools with the human context. And so psychoeducational assessment is where science actually meets practice, and your role in the classroom is to ensure that this connection remains strong and ethical and evidence-based. And so, yeah, as practitioners, when we get these assessment reports, they are not just instruments that are administered, right? They're actually based on decades of research, and that is used to guide how they are developed and to ensure that they are valid and reliable instruments, and so you can depend on the results that are provided. Thank you.
Come on, let's put our hands together for our excellent. And I'm listening there, and she spoke about intervention planning. Maybe later on, some of you students will need to tell me what's that all about. Translators of research, that's clear. A professional judgment, all of that you spoke about, you need to be in a position to say to us, what do you understand from all of that? And I'm saying this to say that we have a gentleman that is to come to speak to us now. He sits at a very important part of the organization. He is the chairman of the board of management. And you might have been wondering why he has not spoken yet. But so many other persons had to speak before him so that he could listen and say, yes, we are doing all of this and more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not equipped with more than his speech. He's equipped with more information. Please make welcome at this time the Reverend Franklin Jackson. Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Master of Ceremonies, moderator for the NASH, Custos Protodorian, Walter Garfield, Vice Chair of the Board of Management, Father Michael, Principal, Dr. Garth Anderson, Vice Principals, Maxine, Education Officer here. If she's here, acknowledgements to her. Sisters and brothers, and particularly our invited guests, greetings, and I join in the welcome extended by our principal to you all, and thank you for stopping to decide to stay with us during the course of this day. We thank you because it's your presence that gives more meaning to all that we are attempting to achieve in this place. I bring you greetings on behalf of the wider church, the diocese. Spoke to the Bishop of Jamaica, Bishop Leon. He is the president of our college, and he has asked me to convey on his behalf as also on behalf of the Diocese of Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, greetings on this day. I speak on behalf of the Board of Management, and I stand before you as a proud product of this place. When this chapel was not this big, you were here. That column at the back there, I had a chair right there. That was my seat, and nobody could take it. But that was my seat. When they wanted to find me, they knew where to find me. But I want to take myself now because before that time when I was here as a student, when research was being done, what was the location for the research? It was an old dusty room at the corner of some building called the library. And dust would kill you off inside it. And the books were tattered and torn because not much money. Costa spoke about making resources available so that we can extend. So you have to knock off the dust and find the page and stay there and read. So that is where research is coming from, where we have to have the material books. We have seen that research has made leaps and bounds in development. And what is research now is coming from you. I never remember at age 5, no teacher giving me no research to do. And our little granddaughter at age 5 said to me one evening, "Granddad, I'm going to do some research." And where she was going, we think her mother will come take her out to the library. She went around the computer. Because that is research location now. And she was in the comfortable space of her home, where she was drawing down on information. Drawing down on information that I was just mesmerized by. Case in point to talk about research. I want to do some research on the steel pan. So I'll put a look over there. Do you know research tells us that it is one of, if not the only instrument that has been invented in the last 50 years? And where did it originate? In the Caribbean, in Trinidad. But research also tells us, and I hear, that the rights to this bit of instrument have been sold to some foreign country. Can you imagine? And I hope that some of you can get the money to buy back the rights and place it back in the Caribbean, where a man just take up half a pan and start making music on it. I went to a 100-man steel orchestra in New York. Let me tell you something. You see the guys they play, wise men, see all the fools rushing. Man, though that group played every genre of music. Research tells us that we can be there. So here we are, on the cusp of this part of the history of research, where we are looking at development. When the first computer came to Jamaica years ago, in one of the bags, it was the size of where the staff sit there. And I had to go down there, drive go down there to see this computer. And the room cool like an icebox. What's a computer? It's a computer here. My granddaughter can do all this, what I can dream to achieve. And so here we are, looking at the history of research and seeing that on the cutting edge of the history of research is technology. Technological advancement is dear before us, where we no longer depend upon some of the manuals, handwritten ones that the ink has faded out and the page tear up. But this little thing stores it forever. But I want to ask us to not divorce the human element from the development of research. Because we know it, garbage in, garbage out. And we have to make sure that the integrity of research is maintained. And this can do that. Integrity has to come from humanity. And so we're talking about research and talking about some researchers, there have been outcomes done separately before the research even starts. You know what that means? It's a set deal. So we have to make sure that technological advancement, which is supposed to assist us in development and making each generation better, becomes grounded and rooted in integrity. That is something that we will have to take to the whole business of technological advancement and research. I'm happy for this day. And continue to ask our God to guide and direct. Our God to guide and direct, like as the preacher this morning said, guiding Nehemiah and his team. To guide and direct the innovators of research using AI and other technological instruments to make sure that we keep it real and keep it honest and keep it causing humanity to develop. I know that my friends tell me that this is nothing new compared to what is going to happen 50 years from now. And they're in the system. They say what this will do in 50 years. You must wait for it. It's coming. Be with God, and then you'll be up. You'll be in charge. I pray that we'll keep abreast with the development. I confess I'm not keeping abreast with it. My granddaughter tells me all the time, Granddad, I showed you that last week. Lord, she's there. I saw her big time, holding fast longer than me. I am still struggling. But come, friends, you are here preparing yourself to take us into the next generation. The research and components of it become that which drives the development, but keeps us human, and keeps us safe.
Thank you one more time. Another big round of applause for Chairman Taylor. And he has not frightened you. He has just cautioned you in terms of using the technology and how we're to position ourselves going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here for a very interesting day. We do have some sessions during the course of the day that I'm looking forward to, and to hearing much, much more in terms of the research and what's happening here at the Church Teachers College. And at this time, we're going to take another little break and invite none other than T-Mar to come at this time. T-Mar Akins. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome T-Mar Akins. She is a really bit better than that. For her to be on a program like this tells them that she's a very important lady. Am I not right? Yes.
Thank you for the emphasis on importance. And yes, I deem myself very special. All right, so my encouragement is coming. Now, my encouragement this morning, in the form of an item, is to encourage all our researchers to encourage themselves to implement their research. Because research publication without implementation is a waste of idea. So let me see how much I can cement this encouragement with the help of the most unique band, the CTC Music Society. Come on, pump it up. on my timorousness.
All right.
Let me start it. Research bright and pretty in a journal, idea fresh. Get it? Get it in? All right. Research bright and pretty in a journal, idea fresh, yes, in a year and. But tell me, what is the real plan to do research implementation? If you delay, it will decay. Ideas soon will fade away. So implement your plan, put it in action, and just listen when we say. Research need action, more traction, like intervention. You know, is that true? Let's put it up. Put it up. Research need action. One. Research in action, yes, traction, or stimulation, like intervention, transformation, in education, modern relation to information. Research in action, yes, traction, or stimulation, like intervention, transformation, in education, modern relation to information. Hey, research bright and pretty in a journal, idea fresh, data in a year hand. But tell me, what is the real plan to do research implementation? If you delay, it will decay, ideas soon will fade away. So implement your plan, put them in action, and just listen when we say. Research need action, yes, traction, or stimulation, like intervention, transformation, in education, modern relation to information. Research need action, yes, traction, or stimulation, like intervention, transformation, in education, modern relation to information. Ideas ignite only when you ignite the flame. No change, no spark, then research will be in vain. Research more action, yes, traction, or stimulation, like intervention, transformation, in education, modern relation to information. Traction, action, or stimulation, like intervention, transformation, in education, modern relation to information. Thank you.
Well, I like this mic. This one's better for me, right? And I see that everybody wants to transition me to, when they come on to music, as I said before, somebody, I remember the statement that was made some years ago by a very important gentleman in Jamaica, an icon, I would want to say. And they say that when music does what? Come on, man. When music does what? What happened to you? Okay, you see it. Right. So anywhere you want to get a message across, just get music involved. I taught in the classroom for a couple of years, 19 something. Right. If I talk it, I said, but look it. But from 1988 to 2004, so I know what it is to infuse music into your activity, right? One thing I don't like though, is especially like in church, nowadays you find that musicians, when they go to church, not these ones, not all of them, when they play and leave. And I just got a little rhythm a while ago, and I look across the keyboard, man, it's not there. Right? And the same thing in church, the pastor gets up to preach, And he has a nice good song that just drop in his spirit. Somebody say glory. Amen. And when he looks across, like no backup is there. Right? So it's something that we have a challenge with. But nonetheless, I think you should give Miss Akings another big round of applause. She did it. She did a beauty today. Give us one of those words that she gave us. She said, traction in action. What else? Transformation in the nation. But then I didn't hear her say anything about church though. I was listening for church to come out in it. Because she ought to keep something churchish inside it, because Reverend is right there sitting in front of you. So you should at least say, boy, you have to keep the thing in the church line. Because when we hear the musician draw the line a while ago, we hear one particular rhythm come out in the first line. Right? Or pass the something. You see me know the music though? I'm a church man still, but I'm a Jamaican. Right? So we want to thank you so much for listening very, very keenly to the activity that we have gone through so far. And we are preparing to hear from a very, very important lady in just a while. But later on this evening, may I do that, sir? Later on this evening, I'm inviting especially our young men and men in particular, not leaving out the ladies, can't leave out the ladies, not leave out the ladies. But when you hear the man in my back, man. So we say we can't leave out the ladies, not leave out the ladies. Say that for me. Do they teach Patois down here? Okay. Right. Student launch is going to be at 8 o'clock this evening. We are working out something with Church Teachers College, where my organization that I have separately from my day job, it's called the National Religious Partnership Media, NRP Media. We're going to be in the student launch this evening at 8 o'clock for what is it? Man and Man Talk. Right, so it's going to be a televised activity starting at 8 o'clock. It will be streamed on YouTube, Facebook, and the website of our station. And you're invited to be over there for that session at 8 o'clock this evening. For those of you who are, particularly those who are residents on the campus. Not for just them, but particularly those. You can get right here. Unless you're doing some assignment, etc. Then we are hoping that you can make your way over there. And there's going to be a discussion taking place. And it's not just for today. We're going to be back on a regular basis here, where we give you an opportunity to speak to some issues that affect you as men. All right? We have so much going for the ladies, but we want to zero in on the men and some of those issues and see how best we can help to work them through. At this time, we're going to be asking Mr. Daly to come back and say something more at this time, and then right after that, you'll hear more about who's coming next. Definitely it's not Punchinella.
I'm glad you said definitely it's not Punchinella, because I don't like Punchinella. So I'm here again to just share with you and our guests how serious Church Teachers College takes research. There are a number of initiatives that we have implemented here. The formulation or the development of our students through the Researchers Circle is one initiative. And we want to start with that as part of the sustainability strategy in building research, inculcating research in teacher training. Yes, it already exists. It exists because you do your action plans and so forth. But I want to warn you and remind you that as teachers for the 21st century teacher, you have to be mindful that research has to become part of your appetite, part of your diet, so to speak. Because you're not going to get ahead. You're not going to achieve the kind of potential that a student should have if you're not aware of the problems that are in front of you. Sometimes they are hidden, and sometimes we have to dig deep for these information so that we can be informed. Right? You heard earlier from Tisha Brown, the Assessment and Intervention Center Manager, speak about research as an important tool in informing change, behavior change, and all sorts of change as it relates to special education and so forth. So the Researcher Circle Club is one intervention, and I want to announce too that in the next couple of weeks we are going to launch our newsletter. A newsletter will become that voice for many students, not only here at Church Jesus College, but also we invite other members of the TCJ family and also too of the CCJ family who would want to contribute in our newsletter so that it becomes a habit of writing and sharing and voicing your opinions on issues, global issues that are affecting us here as teachers, nation builders of this island that we call Jamaica. So that is the newsletter. We have, I want to invite everyone here, all the students, to join us for our research talk, and it's an online discussion. So the more you practice, the more you hear these jargons, the research language, you'll become more in tune, become master researchers from an early stage. We want to encourage you. So these are the initiatives. We have the Think Tank Tuesdays for our lectures, right? Who will come and share as well. So why am I saying this to you? I'm saying this to you because you have a choice. You have a choice of sharpening your research skills from any one of these initiatives. Now later on, you're going to hear from a very brilliant lady, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, and she's going to bring her perspective. She's the managing director at the Heart NSTA Trust. And I'm not preempting what she may come with, but you would hear language, probably not here, but outside, about Industry 4.0 and all of these things that, are a part of the conversations that are happening out there. Just recently, I heard Dr. Steve Lawrence speak so much about AI and the value of AI, and that we must embrace AI. AI is also a part of research, but we must be responsible. People, you watch cartoons, you watch Avengers and DC comic heroes. There's always a saying that with much power, great responsibility. Say that again. With much power, there is great responsibility. And AI gives you that power. It gives you a power that you have to be careful that you don't cross that ethical line. Are you following what I'm saying? Are you following what I'm saying? Yes. So we will hear a lot of conversations about that here and in the different rooms. So I want to thank you as the research manager for this institution, that listen to the conversation, hear the conversation, embrace the conversation, so that when you leave here, you can go out and practice what you have heard, or at least attempt, and then you move on with that sort of momentum. So it is very, very important that today, February 26, 2026, you have gained that insight and that foresight and that appreciation for research. It is very, very important. Okay? Thank you very much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Mr. Dewey Daly one more time. And that's how we operate. As I said before, my cue is that if you're doing on-air activity, you must have something somewhere there, right? And so every time you have some information to share, you throw it in and you move along. At this time, let's welcome none other than, what's her name now? Camille Johnson. Camille is the president of the Research Circle, and we're going to be inviting her at this time to come to do the introduction of our keynote speaker. She deserves a round of applause as she comes.
Dr. Tanisha Ingleton is the Managing Director of the Heart Trust NSTA Trust, Jamaica's premier human development agency. She previously served as Vice President of Administration and University Registrar at the Caribbean Maritime University, where she oversaw human resources, student services, legal services, marketing and communications, security, general services, and the Secretariat, and functioned as Chief Operations Officer. Before joining the university, Dr. Ingleton spent seven years at the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, serving as Director, Principal of the National College of Educational Leadership for 4 years, and Director of Programs for 3. In 2017, she designed the whole of government competency framework and professional pathways for the public service. She has lectured at the undergraduate and PhD levels in Jamaica and Canada in educational policy, school effectiveness, and Spanish language and culture, and has extensive experience in curriculum development. A published author, educator, researcher, and leadership development specialist, Dr. Ingleton has over 18 years of experience enhancing organizational effectiveness through structured policies, systems, and performance-driven practices. She is skilled in team leadership, training, recruitment, and performance management, and has applied management approaches such as appreciative inquiry, blue ocean strategy, and results-based management. She holds a Bachelor of Law, upper second class honors, a PhD from the University of Saskatchewan, a Master's of Philosophy distinction, a postgraduate diploma in education distinction, and a first class honors BA from the University of the West Indies. She is also a graduate of Harvard Business School Executive Education. Her academic work focuses on leadership development. In 2021, she completed the Public Sector Senior Leadership Development Program, earning valedictorian honors. Dr. Ingleton has collaborated with local and international public and private sector organizations, led high-performance teams, and presented widely as a consultant and keynote speaker. She is a certified performance coach and a member of the International Leadership Association and the Human Resource Management Association of Jamaica. She's also the author of Being Learning and Doing, How Leaders Create Capabilities in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we give her a warm CTC welcome.
Johnson, President of Researcher Circle. It is always a pleasure for me to come to Church Teachers College. I've been at Church Teachers College on many occasions, doing multiple different things. And it's just always a pleasure, always warm and welcoming and inviting. And so you carry that spirit, you carry that aura, you know? And that is very, very good. It says much about the team, the staff, and the leadership of the institution. And so I want to acknowledge Chairman of the proceedings. I want to acknowledge our Principal of Church Teachers College, Dr. Garth Anderson. I also want to acknowledge Dr. Dwayne Daly, a Research Manager, Lieutenant Colonel, the Honorable Garfield Green, CD, JP, Costas Rotolorum of Manchester. You would have heard earlier from Mrs. Renee Williams Brown, and certainly you heard from the ever awesome Mr. Leon Nash. You know, I think he's just getting younger by the day, and I'm sure you can agree with me. And so indeed, it is a privilege, as I indicated, to join you at this biennial research symposium as we engage the theme, harnessing evidence for transformative teaching and learning for the 21st century. And this theme speaks directly to Jamaica's future, because the strength of any nation is not measured only by its infrastructure or its economic output. It is measured by the quality of its people, the strength of its education system, and the ability of its citizens to adapt, innovate, and lead in a changing world. Today, Jamaica stands at a pivotal moment in that journey. Recent labor force survey findings from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica show employment now exceeds 1.4 million persons, while unemployment has declined to approximately 3.3%, among the lowest levels recorded in our history. These are significant achievements, but they also reveal something important. Our greatest challenge today is not simply creating jobs. Our challenge is ensuring that our people possess the skills, the ability, the adaptability, and the confidence to thrive in an economy that is rapidly evolving. Education, therefore, becomes what I would refer to as Jamaica's most national strategic investment. Across the world, education systems are being reshaped, and they are being reshaped by powerful forces. Forces such as artificial intelligence, automation, advanced manufacturing, data economies, global digital services. What is often referred to as Industry 4.0 is not a distant concept. It is already transforming how we live, how we work, and how nations compete. Tasks that once required manual effort are now supported by intelligent systems. Entire industries are being redesigned by data, by robotics, by machine learning, and by digital connectivity. And research suggests that nearly 65% of students entering education today will ultimately work in occupations that do not yet exist. This reality places enormous responsibility on education systems. We are no longer preparing students only for the jobs that exist today. We are preparing them for a future that is still being invented. And that is why evidence matters. Evidence allows us to move beyond assumption towards measurable impact. Evidence helps educators determine which teaching approaches improve learning. Evidence helps determine which intervention supports diverse students. Evidence helps determine which environments nurture creativity, resilience, and problem solving. Evidence transforms education from intention to impact. And that is why gatherings like this symposium matter.
Because research must not remain confined to the academic journals or conference halls. Research must live in classrooms. Research must influence policy. Research must shape leadership decisions. And ultimately, research must improve outcomes for learners. Every educator in this room knows the moment when a student discovers confidence for the first time. The moment when a learner realizes that their voice matters. That moment is where the transformation truly begins. The Heart and STA Trust recognizes that workforce development does not begin after education ends. It begins here, in classrooms, in lecture halls, in research environments such as this. Education and skills development, therefore, form one national pipeline for human capital development. Across Jamaica, the Heart and STA Trust supports tens of thousands of citizens annually through training, certification, and workforce preparation aligned with national priorities. Thousands of trainees engage in construction programs supporting infrastructure, development, and climate resilience building. Thousands more participate in information and communication technology programs, preparing Jamaicans to contribute to the global digital economy. Through employer partnerships and structured work-based learning initiatives, thousands transition directly into employment each year. These outcomes reinforce an important truth. Training works best when it is connected to evidence, industry, and opportunity. But the future of education must go even further. Industry 4.0 demands new competencies: digital literacy, critical thinking, collaboration, ethical decision-making, adaptability, creativity. Technology will continue to advance. Artificial intelligence will transform entire sectors, but technology alone will not shape the future. People will. You will. And at the center of the transformation stands the educator. No algorithm can replace the human capacity to inspire curiosity. No machine can replace the wisdom of a teacher who sees potential where others see limitation. Digital tools become powerful only when guided by professionals who understand how to apply them responsibly and creatively. And that is why the role of educators has never been more important. And transformation must also be inclusive. Evidence consistently shows that education systems that expand opportunity produce stronger economies and healthier societies. And so, inclusion is not charity. Inclusion is strategy. When every learner has access to meaningful education and skills development, nations unlock their full human potential. As Jamaica advances toward the aspirations of Vision 2030, human capital development remains central to productivity, innovation, and national resilience. Education institutions, research bodies, training organizations, communities, and industry must therefore work together more intentionally than ever before. Partnership strengthens systems. Research strengthens teaching. Teaching strengthens learners. And empowered learners strengthen Jamaica. Increasingly, we are seeing educators themselves becoming researchers, investigating classroom outcomes, testing new pedagogical approaches, using data to refine learning experience. When teachers engage in inquiry, research becomes action. Action becomes improvement, and improvement becomes transformation. That is the quiet revolution happening in education across the world. And it is indeed happening in Jamaica. Today's symposium demonstrates that Jamaica's educators are not observers of change. We are architects of transformation. We use research to strengthen teaching, and our research and our teaching empowers learners. So the future of Jamaica will not be shaped only by policy documents or development plans. It will be shaped by classrooms, in research centers, in institutions like church, teachers, college. And in the daily work of educators who ignite curiosity, nurture resilience, and open the doors of opportunity. And so as we reflect on the conversation that will take place during the symposium, let us remember the responsibility that we carry to harness evidence, to strengthen professional practice, to prepare learners not only for employment, but for leadership, for innovation, and a meaningful contribution to society. Because when we transform teaching, we transform learning. When we transform learning, we transform lives. And when we transform lives, we transform Jamaica. Thank you.
Come on, let's hear it for Dr. Eglinton. Interesting and quite brief, but to the point. Give her another big round of applause. And it is a measure of who the lady is. She knows when it's time to keep it short. Because nowadays, our children and young people don't like long lectures. And they tune out after a period of time. If you don't introduce the music somewhere there, they will tune out. But I was listening, and you spoke about transformation must be inclusive. Yes? You spoke about research should really be driven by action, or should form the basis of the future action. And you spoke to the fact that research should also shape teaching. And of course, if you are learning in the current day classroom the same way that you learned back in the days, then what will happen to our children today who are smart on the technology? They will be far ahead of us. But we are going to do the catch-up. We're going to take the information and we're going to lead the way. I see some things walking. Normally after such a wonderful presentation, we have another presentation, but my friends are putting it to one side for later on, I suspect. So ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Eglinton has walked off the stage because she's finished in terms of our presentation. But I see here on my program a presentation to be made to the keynote speaker. So we'll be inviting her back, and I'm going to be inviting to the stage Mr. Daniel Scott, fourth-year student, to make a presentation to our keynote speaker. Mr. Scott, please come forward, and somebody I'm sure is going to bring something to him, right? I'm sure. Am I not right, Mr. Scott? Right. So I can't give Mr. Scott the microphone yet until I see that other thing moving in his direction, because he can't present an empty hand, right? So the ladies are coming forward to assist him with that, so that we can have that wonderful presentation for such a very brief but very spirited and strong presentation by Dr. Eglinton. One more time, let's hear it for Mr. Daniel Scott. So he's going to probably say something, and then he comes down to make the presentation.
Good morning, colleagues. I want to thank you on behalf of the Church Teachers College family and all the visitors for making such a wonderful and brief presentation. You really inspired us to implement these evidence-based methods of research into our practice, letting us know just how important we as future teachers are to the development of Jamaica, to the future of Jamaica, showing that we are one of the most important aspects of our future as a nation. The strategic, where education is Jamaica's most strategic investment. And I think that really hit hard for me and a lot of our colleagues. I was hearing right? Yes, so we want to thank you so much. And on behalf of the Church Teachers College family, I want to give you this lovely token as a symbol of appreciation. I was also told to mention that she is a past student of the Glenmuir High School.
Oh, let's hear it. All the grants must be represented. Come on, let's hear it for it one more time. Big round of applause as he makes the presentation. Right, and I am sure that Mr. Scott is from Glenmuir, or he made an announcement on behalf of some persons who are from Glenmuir. Who are the Glenmuirites that are here? Wave your hands. Quite a few. Come on, let's hear it for them. The others of you, give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. Thank you so much. All right, so we are at Q&A and giveaways at this point. And who is leading that? We have some questions? Yes. Good. How many baskets we have to give away? Because I love to, when it comes to this party now, we have some gifts. All right. Now, Dr. Eglinton is going to help me with that. Let me see who else. Reverend Franklin is also going to help me out here. Okay. And yes. Now, I need 2 persons from this side to stand. Just stand. 2 persons from this side stand. Now, who we're going to check to see who's the brave of the bravest. And they're saying, well, I'm not standing up until I know what you want me to stand for. Right? But yeah, thank you. 3. Stand up, the other gentlemen, stand up. 3 of you. Good. And I need 2 ladies from way over my right to stand up. 2 ladies. We're going into school's challenge quiz now. Come on, ladies. Unless you're saying hand it to the gentleman. Just hand it to them? You're saying that? Oh, no. All right. So the question is, and you see, if you stood up, you would have gotten the first question over that side because I was going to stay with you on the right. But I'm going to come back to the gentleman. Give me 1 person each, 1 point that was raised in Dr. Eglinton's message just a while ago. That's all that you have to do to get a gift. 1 point. This is church, and we are in a study environment, and therefore you would have walked with your smartphones or your notebooks for this kind of lecture. Or if you're not doing that, then you would have used the upper. Right? So gentlemen, just 1. Shout it out if you recall 1 thing that she said in her message. Let me not give you any clue. Go ahead. No? Somebody can help her and share the gift afterwards. There you go. Come on, put your hands together for him, man. Right. Who help you? Where's the Bridget? All right, next person. And then we're going to ask Mr. Daly to organize for the gifts for you. Go right ahead, sir. I'm going to give you the first word that I used out of her speech. That transformation must be what? Someone give me that, yes, give me that music there. The one, ping pong. Anybody remember ping pong? What is that? What kind of character was that? Huh? Cartoon character, of course. Right. All right, help me out, my brother standing in the middle. Yes, sir? It's an I word. No? It ends with an E. Who said that? Come on, shout out. What's your name? Marcadia? Marcadia got it. So you're going to share your gift with the brother who should have answered. All right, thank you so much. And the last thing, what is the last thing that the presenter to Dr. Ingleton said? That's for my other brother. He said something very important about Dr. Ingleton before he spoke about the institution represented. Yes. What did he say? That was Daniel. What did Daniel say in terms of the last thing that he said was very important to him from what she said? I didn't hear that. No, not the Glenmore High School part. I know you would remember that part. Yes. Come on. Somebody help him out. Ladies now, over this side. Ladies. What was the last thing that Scott spoke about Dr. Ingleton instead of not going to the point of Glenmore? That education what? These people are sitting here, so they were very attentive. Who wants the gift? Not Marcadia this time. Come on, let's put your hands together for her. Did she give an answer though? Did Tracy say yes? Thank you so much. Gentlemen, Mr. Daly, presentation. All right. So you'll collect your gift for Mr. Daly in just a while. Thank you so much for that. Any questions for Dr. Ingleton from the audience? Question? If you have it, just lift your hand. Any question for her? Yes, go right ahead.
So that students of all nations, creeds, and abilities can come to any high school and learn given the same opportunity. Where are we? What can we do and what will we do?
All right, Dr. Ingleton is going to come to answer you. I come up here, Doc, so that we can probably send a Corliss down there in just a minute. You might have maybe another question or two to answer.
Thank you so much for that question, and it is important that it be addressed because inclusivity cannot be just talk, it must be action. And so the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information would have recognized that this is important if we listen carefully to our Minister Dana Morris Dixon, when she speaks the language of inclusivity. It's not just the language, but the different initiatives that the ministry would have been ensuring are taking place in schools. For example, just the other day we had the launch of the Jamaica Society for the Blind initiative, where we are working with the blind community to ensure that they get the kind of access to education that a sighted child would get. So we would have been working with them on curriculum development, enhancing their spaces so that they can move about freely and really become valued individuals of society. The Ministry of Education would have also done significant work in terms of the physical infrastructure of schools, ensuring that young people or individuals who are otherwise abled, in terms of wheelchair users, etc., get that opportunity to be in classroom spaces. And for individuals who would have been diagnosed with special special education criteria such as ADHD, etc. There is continuous development in the Ministry of Education to identify these students very, very early, to pair them with different with teachers who are skilled in special education, and ensuring that they get that opportunity to learn. At the Heart and STA Trust, we really pride ourselves in how we engage with even the blind community. At the Heart and STA Trust, we employ, even within our own systems, our massage therapists are individuals who are blind, and they are some of the best massage therapists. And the reason for this is because they are able to tell you when they are doing the massages, even for your hands, your back, etc. They're able to articulate to you the amount of stress you're carrying in your body. They can't see you, but they're able to feel that, right? And so the learning and the different trainings that we offer gives them that ability to be able to flourish and function in society alongside. And so I spoke about special abilities, but certainly there are diverse spaces in education. I think we have moved away, Mr. Leon Nash, from even the socio-economic challenges that would have been a barrier before. We are finding that students are accessing education across the entire 14 parishes. We are also recognizing that dichotomy that existed between traditional schools and non-traditional, that we're seeing that is being slowly broken down. Schools that were schools that were not considered as traditional, are doing so well and are excelling in so many different areas. And you would have seen what would have happened recently on your television, that I'm sure you all remember, right? Right? Our schools challenge craze, I don't know if you all remember. All right, and so what we are recognizing is that education should not be competition. It should be camaraderie, where students can, in different spaces, recognize that there is no less than, there is no more than. We all have cognitive abilities and competencies. So you might be going to one school and I am going to another, and it does not mean that you are better than I am. Because the teachers in the school all went to Church Teachers College. It's the same teachers college the teachers went to, who are in the school teaching those students. So we must recognize the strength that we have, the talent that we have, and when you get into those schools, when you become the teacher and you're sitting in those classrooms, you have a responsibility to speak life into your students, to let them know that the school across the road is not better than the school that I am teaching in now. To let them know, do not live your life competing with your peers, because that makes absolutely no sense. Live your life collaborating, harnessing, recognizing your strengths, and building on those. And so I really believe that Jamaica has come a very, very far away in terms of inclusivity, and it continues to become the narrative and to be at the center of the education system, because it is only when we all recognize that we are equals that we will get to true transformation.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Any other question? Any other question? And for the final time, any other question? Now, I was going to say to you that Dr. Eglinton can go on for an hour. Yes, I know as much about her. She has that ability to do that. But this morning, she tapered that off. And she really, really summarized it for you to ensure that you got it and got it. Like that. Some little contents of things that you buy. They're small packages. But when you open them, they give off a strong perfume or odor. Isn't that right? Those of you who have nobles know what I'm talking about. Right? My children love that. And I didn't recognize until I looked at it. There's this little sachet that is in the noodle. But when you pour it into that water, it just saturates the entire contents that you have there. That's the kind of person that Dr. Ingleton is. She's small, wrapped up, but when she explodes, she gives you a lot to consider. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for George. All right. At this time, we're going to be having a presentation, special presentation at this time. Going to be done by, is it Amara? Mrs. Scott. Right, Mrs. Scott. Come on up, Mrs. Scott. Make her welcome, please. Make her welcome. All right, after that, we're going to be asking Mr. Alonso Johnson to stand by for the courtesies.
Thank you. Blessings. I invite Mr. Leonash to come forward. It's all about you. Right. We caught you by surprise, didn't we? Good. And we're happy to have you with us today, sir. We appreciate your presentation. You kept us going. You never boring, not true? No, he was very engaging, and we thank you so much for taking the time out to be here to serve this morning. And this is just a small token of our appreciation, just to let you know how much we value the sacrifice and the time that you have taken from your busy schedule to be with us. And please come back, because you were very engaging. Thanks a lot.
Play that Pink Panther song for him. That's his type of song. You might have to do the walking. All in good fun. Thank you, Mr. Nash. Really appreciate it. Now we are at, it's now 10:45, and we're at the break networking poster display. Thank you very much, Mrs. Scott. You have to, what kind of phone? Is that an iPhone or the book? If it was an iPhone, you would get it back. And yes. Oh, I'm ahead of my time. You heard what I said? I'm ahead of my time. Mr. Nash, come and finish this part. Go ahead. All right. Thank you very much. Before Mr. Johnson comes, our quality assurance officer, right? I just want to let you know that the break will be served for our guests at the cafeteria, and you can take that opportunity to network. Good? We have also poster displays, and that will be at KT1. So if you look at your map in your program, and I'm also going to give you the directions here. When you exit the chapel, you will head straight for the corridor, that spine area there, leading towards the gymnasium. And that building, that the double-story building, on the ground floor will be the room for the display, the poster display. I invite you to go and look at it, critique it, and also take notes of the topics, the titles, the work that has been done by the students of this institution, high in the hills of Manchester. Good? So engage, show support to the young researchers and senior researchers too, who will also be showcasing their work publicly. Please give them your support. I want to also say to you, support the different presentations in the different rooms. Good? A lot of work has been done, and sometimes we just need that listening ear, that kind of support to motivate. Sometimes people feel demotivated because the information that they want to pass on to nobody's there to give a listening ear. So in the spirit of church, it is college, in the spirit of research, and those who are research enthusiasts and those who want to be inspired, I encourage you, I implore you, may I beg you, show support. Okay? Are you hearing me? You must not hear me, I'm speaking into the mic, but are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
And so, without any further ado, the gentleman that I had mentioned early on, Mr. Alonzo Johnson, Quality Assurance Officer, oh, you're right to my right, he's coming out to do the courtesies. Please make him welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Nash. Plenary moderator, Mr. Leon Nash, Senior Chief Education Officer in her absence, Mrs. Renee Williams-Brown, Custos Rotulorum, Honorable Garfield Green, CDJP, Chairman of the Board of Management, Reverend Franklin Jackson, our keynote speaker, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, Principal of Church Teachers College, Dr. Garth Anderson, our research manager, Dr. Dwayne Daly, faculty, participants, friends, all, good morning. I want to provide a bit of a courtesy to all of those who would have made presentations today. Members of the research circle, led ably by their president, Ms. Johnson. Thank you so much for the devotional exercise. I want to also thank Reverend Canon Michael Elliott for his clarion call for us to rebuild the broken walls of education, much like how Nehemiah rebuilt the walls of Jerusalem. Ours is the responsibility to make transformative change in education. And research is among the tools that we have available in our toolkit. I want to thank also Dr. Garth Anderson for extending welcome to all of our participants and stakeholders who are here to engage in rich academic discourse underpinning by the role of research in educational practice. Dr. Dwayne Daly, thank you for your visionary leadership of research at CTC and reminding us of that critical role that research plays in our transformative efforts. Thank you to the Music Society for the musical item that was done by Mr. Johnson. We can all admit that the Music Society has been playing a great role in our college community. I want to thank the Lieutenant, the Honorable Garfield Green, for his charge as well and support of our research activities. Mrs. Williams-Brown, thank you for reminding us of that great value at a broader scale that research plays in higher education. Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, thank you for reminding us of that irreplaceable role that educators play even amidst the changes that we are experiencing with AI. Because believe it or not, it is our own expertise, as you reaffirmed, is harnessing that great power that it allows. It is our responsibility for harnessing evidence, for transforming learning opportunities, and to support our learners and ultimately society. And finally, I just want to thank Leon Nash for engaging in an expert-led opportunity to lead in this plenary activity. And so I wish for everybody the best that you will accomplish today in our research activities, and pray that you will be able to implement much of the evidence-based practices to be shared. Thank you so much.
Come on, do better than that for the gentleman. Because I want to come back. I want to ensure that we put our hands together for the musicians again. And because I hope to see my face in the paper, I want to put your hands together and give a round of applause to Mr. Dudley McLean. campus publication. And because I want to also see myself on television later, please ensure that you give Mr. Courtney Morgan from TVJ a big round of applause in the building. No, well, I'm not going to share anything. I'm not going to say it, Courtney, I'm not going to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very engaging day, a morning so far, and we thank you so much for sitting down. And I see the faces there saying, can I get some more? I'm not too sure which side you want it from, but more is going to be on offer for you today. At this time, we're going to be just encouraging you, please keep track of the time as you make your way to the various areas that you're going to be heading to during the break time and the poster displays and the concurrent sessions that are coming up later on. We are a little bit past, so move fast to the first one and then to the others afterwards. And just a reminder that the ushers will take the special guests to the hospitality room in just a moment. But to take us out of here, ladies and gentlemen, let's head over to my left for the Pink Panther sound that will take us out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, they are ready and they are always on guard. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen, to the break. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Remember the cafeteria for a break, and then we keep track of time, and then we choose our rooms or concurrent sessions, decide which one we want to do. Thank you very much. Students, you are also to be there as well.